everybody, and welcome back to the second episode of Char Got A Bible Guide. It is the continuation of Genesis, which, as we know, has 50 chapters. So now I'm going through 26 through 50. With anything and with every episode going forward, if you want to read along, please do so. If you have any comments, if you have any advice, commentary, whatever you want to share with me, please drop it in the comment section. Email me or reach out to me on social. But again, Char Got A Bible Guide is my oratory of the Bible through my own interpretations, and it has been tasked for me by God to read the Bible and know the Bible and apply it to my life. So that's what I'm doing, and as always, it is my purpose to be able to share it with you. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to jump right in. Again, 26 through 50. 26. As we see with Isaac, God will bless you if you do what he says and have the courage to step out on faith. Plain and simple. God will bless you if you do what he says. And that's kind of a recurring theme as we go through Genesis in itself is if you trust God, if you put your whole faith into God and what he tells you, you follow through and you will be blessed. Chapter 27. Be careful. People are sneaky, even the close ones to you, including family. So I put example, Esau and Jacob. So be mindful of who you keep in your circle. Be careful because everybody kind of has their own agenda, and sometimes it is not for your good. Chapter 28, I just highlighted a verse. 28:15, I wish I would have brought it down to recite it to you, but 28:15 is what I put down for chapter 28. Chapter 29, God gives you what you need. In this chapter, Leah doesn't have a husband, but she spreads her love across 4 guys. I think that was a note. But the main takeaway was God gives you what you need, and that's plain and simple. And so that's with everything. God is going to give you what you need, not what you think you need. Chapter 30, God hears your prayers. Example of this, Rachel wanted a son of her own, and God gave it to her. So he hears your prayers, he answers your prayers. Just keep asking, but you have to follow through because without work, it does not happen. Chapter 31. If you don't know by now who God is, figure it out. And if you don't know that God is with you, understand that he is always with you. So obey the commands of God without question. And that's with anything. If God puts something on your heart, if he keeps putting stuff in your path to say, hey, this is important, do this is what you should be doing, do it. Don't take those signs lightly. Chapter 32, God gives you what you can handle. Jacob prayed in despair to God because he thought he couldn't handle the responsibility given to him by God. So basically, God did not give you this gift. God did not give you those skills. God did not give you that word of what you should be doing if he didn't think that you can handle it. Like your current struggles, your current everything is because God knew you can endure and you will overcome. Chapter 33. Jacob and Esau are an example of how and why we should let others do for us. So let someone be good to you and give. Appreciate the kindness of others. Plain and simple. If you are that super person, superman, superwoman, let somebody do for you, let somebody love you, let somebody at least take care of you in a way that you normally care for somebody else. So let somebody do for you. Chapter 34, I don't really have much, just notes on that. Chapter 35, do as God said, period. Jacob went to Bethel because God told him, and each time he was rewarded. So if you do what he says, going back to listening and obeying, if you do what God says, you will be rewarded. 36 is an example of lineage in Esau's family line. In all that you do, think of who is coming after you. And that was my biggest takeaway, because we saw what kind of lineage, what kind of family he had after him. And so with your right now, you might not have kids, you might not be married, whatever your case, but there are people that's going to be after you, whether that's your own children, nieces and nephews, cousins. There are people after you that are looking to you, and you have the power to be able to make that shift so that they can have a better life than what you had. Chapter 37, keep dreaming. People are always going to have an opinion. So the example of this is Joseph's dream and how People thought he was crazy for having these dreams, but of course we saw that God blessed him because of these dreams. So keep dreaming, keep doing, and it will be given to you. Chapter 38, when you do evil, you get evil. In this case, Onan slept with his brother's wife, and the Lord killed him because of it. So, period. If you don't do good, you won't get good. Chapter 40. This is the story of the cupbearer and the baker. The moral is to be grateful and express gratitude when someone does something for you. So in the book, it kind of said how the cupbearer and the baker had these dreams, and Joseph was the only one who could interpret it for them and give the correct interpretation. And so I think the baker is the one who followed up, and because Joseph had only one request after he said, I'm going to tell you what this dream means, but you got to remember me, you got to look out for me. And the baker was the only one who looked out for Joseph. And then when it came down to it, the cupbearer didn't. So be grateful and always express gratitude when somebody does something out of the kindness of their heart for you. Chapter 41. The Pharaoh had another dream, and he wanted Joseph to interpret it, but he refused. The moral of that story is do good and you'll get good. Joseph did it anyway, so even if somebody is being negative towards you, still be good, do good anyway. Chapter 42, I just highlighted a verse, 42:18. The moral of that is fear God. Chapter 43, do as you are told. The brothers did as Joseph told him, and that commandment came from God. If it feels right, then do it. Chapter 44, I just had notes. Chapter 45, everything happens for a reason. Joseph broke down the reason why God made him be sold to Egypt, and because of that he was meant to go into Egypt and to save lives. So there's a reason for every step and everything that happens to you, good or bad. Chapter 46, when God speaks, you respond with action, period. When he tells you, like I'm doing right now, when he tells you to do something, you do it. You don't question it. You don't care about who's going to watch, who's going to pay attention, because this is for me first. And so when God speaks to you, you respond with the action and you do whatever he tells you to do. So example of that from the book is Jacob going to Egypt to see Joseph, his son. Chapter 47. God does what he promises, and that's through the good and the bad times. So regardless, he's going to hold his promise to you because he loves you from the very beginning. Chapter 48. Obey and respect your elders, especially your grandparents. So this is when Israel met his grandkids. So basically, obey your elders and put some respect on them because they're the reason why you are here. If you don't honor them, if you don't respect them, nothing good will come to you. Chapter 49. Elders know what they're talking about. Listen and take heed. Kind of going along with 48. Listen to your elders. Love your elders. Spend time with them because as we know, this life, this time is precious. Chapter 50. Israel died, Joseph eventually died, and gave the torch to his brothers. So again, going back to thinking about who comes after you and what type of legacy you want to have to carry on what you're doing, the good you're doing, and the impact you're having on other people's lives is going to carry through generations. So be mindful of that. So that's pretty much 1 through 50 of the book of Genesis. I will come back to you next week with Exodus, and we're going to do it all over again. As always, comments, questions, concerns, whatever you want to talk about, whether it's Char Got A Bible Guide, Char Got A Grad School, anything you want to talk about, let me know so I can put it on this platform and share it with everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.